finally decided to do. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the second thing that I start doing when I'm in the rebuilding and restoring or restoration phase, and that is restorative movements. So yesterday I spoke about how starting with walking is such a fantastic thing, and once you're comfortable enough with walking and you've built up your strength enough to the point where you're able to walk for 10 to 15 minutes without feeling pain or discomfort, then you're ready to start restoring. And the area that you really need to start restoring is the muscles that have weakened. So either from pregnancy, labor, having a C-section, any kind of abdominal surgery, or any kind of, internal abdominal procedure, then this would be your next step, and that is to do restorative exercises or restorative movements, as I like to refer to them, because it's not, exercise is a word that people tend to think that you're going to work up a sweat and you have to work hard and it's got to be something, that you're burning fat. It's not that at all, so that's why I like to refer to it as restorative movements. So I have a couple of restorative movements I wanted to share with you today, and just to let you know that I would definitely do them on a daily basis along with walking as well in those early phases. And I would do this until you can do all of the movements comfortably and at least 5 times without feeling any discomfort or any pain. That is then when you can move on to your next phase of recovery, rebuilding, and restoring. So the first restorative movement or exercise that I wanted to teach you today is breathing. Doing deep breath is something that's going to activate those muscles of the lower abdominal, the pelvic floor, and the diaphragm, which is the areas that would have weakened. So the first piece of breath work, I'm just going to do one with you today, and I will do another one later on in the training this week. And the first one is to put your hand on your belly, and as you inhale, you want your belly to expand, so it's almost like you're filling up a balloon. So what I want you to do is to really feel that your belly is expanding. So try your best to not hold on to any tension in that area and allow it to be as relaxed as possible. So as you inhale, it's like you're blowing up the balloon. So your hands would essentially be moving forward. So inhale, and when you exhale, exhale through pursed lips, and it's like you're deflating the balloon. So I'm going to do that to the side. I'm going to just go up a little bit so you can just see that area and see my hands moving. So inhale and exhale. And I'm not pressing on my hands at all. Inhale and exhale. And I would do that as many times as feels comfortable for you. In the very beginning stages, it may only be 3 times. And then you can slowly build it up. The next exercise I would like to show you, or movement that I would like to speak to you about, is pelvic tilts. Pelvic tilts are such a great exercise to be doing because it's activating those muscles without putting any unnecessary tension in that area. So you may have done a cat-cow pose before in yoga. That is the movement that we're going to be doing, and that is one version of a pelvic tilt that you can do. I wanted to show you a few different versions today, so you can do the one that is most comfortable for you wherever you are on your journey at the moment. And all of these movements that I'm showing you today can be done from the comfort of your own bed. So if you're having a day where you don't have a lot of energy to get up and move around during your recovery phase, then this is perfect movements for you to do from your bed, as long as you don't feel any pain or any discomfort when you do them. So a pelvic tilt, I'll show you first the cat-cow, so you can just see the motion and really think about how your pelvis is moving throughout as you change shape, as your body changes shape. So we all know the cat-cow. So you're on all fours, and then you're going to deepen that curve in your lower spine and look forward. And then you're going to initiate the movement from your pelvis. So you're going to round your pelvis and then slowly round your middle back, upper back, shoulders, and allow your neck to completely relax. And you can do that a few times. And this movement is not necessarily the pelvic tilt version that you would be starting with, but I'm just showing you so that you can see the change from when you're deepening the curve in the lower back and when you're rounding the lower back. So the other way in which you can do that from a kneeling position, or you can also do that sort of getting in a child's pose position, but having your knees wider than your feet. Then you can have both hands in front of you, and then you're going to deepen the curve in the lower spine and the pelvis, and then you're going to round it. Allow your neck to completely relax. So deepen that curve in the lower spine, and then round it. And I always come back to pelvic tilts if I have some pain in my lower back or any discomfort. It's something that always helps me to alleviate that. So really think about each of these movements. Think about, really focus on what you feel in your body as your body is changing movement, so that you can become aware if you feel any discomfort or any pain and know, okay, I took it too far. My body's not quite there yet. We're not quite ready for that stage yet. Okay, and the one that I would start with is doing the pelvic tilt on the floor or on your bed. So this one you're not going to be able to notice as well when I'm doing it. So you really need to feel it for yourself. And so if you start with deepening that curve in the lower spine, then you can see you would have space to put your hands underneath your back, and then you want to round that lower back, so you're changing the movement in your pelvis to round, and in this case, you'd be pressing your lower back against the floor. And this is really activating. You'll feel it, feel some pressure here, so it could cause slight pain and discomfort. If it does, then don't take the movement as far. So you're going to allow that curve to come in the lower spine, and then you're going to change shape in your pelvis to bring your lower spine down to the mat. And this is a position here when your back is flat against the floor, and you can feel the activation in the lower abdominals. This is a position that you need to keep when you're doing any abdominal exercise. Okay, so just so you know, because it's going to prevent you from doing any damage to your lower back. Okay, the next movement we're going to go into is a glute bridge. And now, this is where you, again, really need to pay attention to what's happening in your body as it changes shape through movement, so that you're aware on how high you can take your glute bridge in the beginning. So, to be honest with you, you may only be able to take it that far off the ground at first, and then you need to go back down again. So really gauge where you are, and really feel the changing shape of your pelvis, and as your pelvis, brings the lower back towards the floor, you can feel your spine slowly peel up off of the floor as you come up into your glute bridge. And you want to use your feet to plant them into the floor. Use your arms and palms as well to support you. Use your shoulders to support you. Your butt will be tense and flexed. The same with your thighs. And then when you come down really slowly, so that you feel each vertebrae of the spine touch the floor until you eventually come back to the neutral position. So like I said, really gauge how you feel. It's not about how high you can take the glute bridge in the beginning. It's more about just getting the movement so that you're activating the areas that have weakened. And we're talking about the deep muscles, so the muscles that you cannot see. Those are the muscles that we're working on to restore and rebuild. And once you have that like strong foundation along with good nutrition, that is a good basis for eventually getting rid of the stomach fat, belly fat, pooch, whatever you want to call it, that you don't want. So I'll just show you the glute bridge one more time. Okay, and again, just starting, do each movement 3 times and slowly building up your strength again. The next exercise I wanted to show you, or movement, is a heel slide. So, in this position with your knees up to the sky and your feet flat on the mat, and what you're going to do is flex your left foot and slowly drag your heel along the floor, and then slowly bring it back up to the start position. So you see how this would be much easier on a bed than on this mat, because the mat likes to stick. Okay, and do this as slowly as you possibly can, so that you're really paying attention to what's happening in this area, and if you feel any pain or any discomfort or anything that just feels a little bit awkward, then definitely stop and don't go as far. And maybe this exercise isn't quite for you yet, you're just not there yet, and that's okay. And the last exercise I wanted to show you is called a clamshell. So this, you'll be laying on the side, get yourself into a comfortable position on the side. You can either hold your head up, or you can allow your head to completely relax, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And then you're going to bring your knees in front and your ankles behind, so your ankles and your bum will almost be in alignment. And keeping your feet together, you're going to slowly raise the top knee away from the bottom knee. So essentially, you'll be doing that. And in the beginning, you most likely will not be able to take the clamshell all the way up. It just won't feel comfortable, it'll be too difficult. So just take it slow. You may only be here at first, so I have about a hand in between my 2 knees, or maybe even there, just 2 fingers between the 2 knees. It doesn't matter where you are. All that matters is that you're taking the journey to help restore those muscles that have weakened. And you're doing it in a gentle way so that you will not do permanent damage to your body. It's all about loving our body and taking care of our body, and then you can go over to the other side and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and there is one more exercise that you can do on your own. I won't be able to show it to you, but in your pregnancy, you may have learned how to do your Kegel exercises. That is another exercise that you should definitely keep doing, because it is going to 100% help you to restore the muscles that have weakened, those deep muscles of the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, and the lower abdominals. I hope that you have a smooth and swift recovery, and I'll